The Old House and the Lady Next Door. A Tale by Learning English Listening.
There was an old house at the end of the street that nobody visited. It was abandoned and had an eerie feel to it. It had been like that for years, and many people avoided it. However, one lady named Mary had lived next to the house for decades. She was an elderly lady who had lived in the neighborhood for as long as anyone could remember. Mary was a kind woman who had lived alone since her husband passed away. She spent most of her days tending to her garden, reading, and taking care of her cat. She had never ventured into the old house, but she always wondered about it. She wondered who used to live there and why it had been abandoned. One day, a new neighbor moved in next door. His name was Tom, and he was a friendly man who always had a smile on his face. Tom was curious about the old house too, and he wanted to find out more about it. He decided to ask Mary about it. Mary told him about the old family that used to live there and how they had moved away suddenly. She also shared that the house had been on the market for years, but no one had shown any interest in buying it. Tom felt sorry for the old house, and he thought of a way to help. He offered to clean up the house and fix it up. Mary was skeptical at first, but Tom was persistent, and eventually, she agreed. Tom spent weeks cleaning the house, repairing the broken windows, and painting the walls. The old house looked better than it had in years. Mary was amazed at the transformation and grateful to Tom for his kindness. She began to visit the old house with Tom, and they would sit on the porch and chat. They found old photographs, letters, and journals that told the story of the family that used to live there. They discovered that the family had left behind a trunk filled with old jewelry and heirlooms. Mary was amazed at the treasures they had found, and she was glad that they had been able to save them from being lost forever. As the months went by, Tom and Mary became good friends, and the old house was no longer a scary and abandoned place. They had given it new life and purpose. Mary and Tom would often sit on the porch, chatting and enjoying the beautiful garden that they had created together. They had given the old house new memories, and it was no longer lonely or abandoned. It had become a place of friendship and happiness. One day, Mary fell ill, and Tom took care of her. He visited her every day and made sure she had everything she needed. Mary was grateful for Tom's kindness, and she knew that she had found a true friend in him. When Mary passed away, Tom was heartbroken, but he knew that Mary's spirit would live on in the old house they had saved together. Years passed, and Tom grew old. He eventually sold his house and moved away, but he knew that the old house would always have a special place in his heart. The house that was once abandoned and forgotten had become a symbol of love and friendship, thanks to Mary and Tom's kindness.